Welcome to this explainer. Right now, we're diving into some seriously fascinating source material, covering the mechanics and the philosophy behind a project called LinkersMap and its native token, $LMP. Look, if you've been around Web3 for a minute, you know the space is constantly shifting. And yeah, it's often driven by pure hype. But today, we're looking at a structural design that tries to do something fundamentally different. It's rooting crypto in actual everyday utility. To kick things off, I want to pose a question that really frames the whole problem these developers are trying to tackle. What happens to a crypto token when the hype dies down, but actual businesses keep using it? I mean, we're so used to seeing tokens just skyrocket on narrative alone, only to crash the second attention shifts. But what if demand was fueled directly by real economic activity? Keep that in the back of your mind as we go through this.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll cover the Web3 utility problem, how LinkersMap bridges blockchain and business, the transaction-backed flywheel, tokenomics and distribution, and finally, building sustainable demand. Section 1. The Web3 utility problem.
So the source material sets the stage here with a pretty stark contrast. On one side, you have your standard crypto model, right? Value relying almost entirely on speculative trading, short-term yield farming, and whatever the latest fleeting trend happens to be. It's a house of cards, often built on tokens named after, dog breeds or popular foods. But on the flip side, we see the proposed alternative. The LMP ecosystem actually ties demand directly to platform transaction volume and real merchant adoption. It's moving completely away from speculation and leaning heavily into grounded, usage-driven utility. Moving on to Section 2, bridging blockchain and business. How exactly does a platform bridge the gap between complex blockchain tech and the neighborhood coffee shop down the street? Well, according to the material, the solution is LinkersMap. It's defined here as the flagship decentralized application, or dApp, built on the Interlink chain. Now, Interlink is a network specifically focused on practical, real-world usage, and LinkersMap functions as its primary geocommerce platform. Instead of being just another abstract protocol floating around in the digital ether, this is actual infrastructure designed to help local businesses accept crypto payments. The developers actually describe LinkersMap as a Web3 mashup of three concepts you're definitely already familiar with. First, it acts a lot like Google Maps for discovery, so you can find places locally or globally. Second, it functions as a local marketplace for shopping. And third, it serves as a payment rail where users transact using the network's native token, $ITL. It literally pulls these three distinct functions together under one Web3 roof. The crucial takeaway here is that you end up with an interactive map populated strictly by verified, real-world businesses and services. You're not sitting there trying to decipher some incredibly complex liquidity pool contract. You're just searching for a physical cafe or a local plumber. It completely shifts the focus away from high finance speculation toward everyday utility that anyone can actually understand and use. Section 3. The transaction-backed flywheel. Let's unpack the actual mechanics here. How does buying a physical product trigger this ecosystem? The source explains that real economic activity is essentially tokenized. AMP LMP operates under Interlink's protocol as an IRC20 business token. IRC20 is basically this network standard for smart contracts, kind of like ERC20 on Ethereum. Think of it like this. If you buy a coffee at a cafe on the map, AMP LMP isn't the currency you hand over to the barista. No, it's a token designed to capture the value of that economic activity happening on the back end. And here is the three-step automated loop that drives the whole system. Step 1. A user makes a real-world transaction, like buying that coffee, on LinkersMap, paying an ITL. Step 2. Behind the scenes, a portion of that economic activity is automatically routed to the Interlink Business Token Exchange, or IBTE. Step 3. That routed value automatically buys LMP from the automated market maker liquidity pool. The absolute beauty of this is that it happens instantly. Neither the coffee drinker nor the merchant has to do any complex trading whatsoever. The protocol argues that this simple equation completely changes the game. More merchants plus more transactions equals more automatic buys of LMP. As the user base grows, this built-in mechanism is generating constant organic demand. And that's a massive structural advantage. Why? Because the buying pressure is coming from people just living their lives and buying goods, not from day traders trying to time a market pump. Section 4. Tokenomics and distribution. To truly understand how this sustains itself long-term, we really have to look at the numbers. And the foundational number for LMP is 100 million. The token features a strictly fixed supply of exactly 100 million tokens. The source is absolutely crystal clear on this. There is zero inflation,
no new tokens will ever be minted. So, as that automatic buying pressure from the flywheel kicks in from real-world commerce, it's operating against a permanently capped supply.
Now, looking at how those 100 million tokens are distributed actually tells us a lot about their priorities. A massive 60% allocation is dedicated entirely to merchant, user, and platform rewards. Unlike a lot of venture capital-heavy projects where insiders hold the lion's share, the vast majority here is designed specifically to fuel real activity. The rest is thoughtfully split up: 15% for the core team, which is vested to align long-term interests, 5% for liquidity, and 20% for ecosystem treasury and philanthropy.
But regarding that massive 60% reward allocation, it's absolutely crucial to understand that LMP isn't just handed out in random airdrops. You actually have to earn it through a mechanism called Proof of Business Utility Contribution, or POBU for short. You earn LMP by genuinely helping the network grow. That could be onboarding a new local restaurant, creating helpful content, or driving user adoption. It perfectly aligns the financial rewards with genuine, measurable ecosystem progress.
Section 5. Building Sustainable Demand.
Let's examine the current state of this project and where it's heading. According to the source, we're looking at an early-stage opportunity that already has its foundation laid. This isn't just some theoretical white paper. The LinkersMap platform is currently live as the flagship app. Plus, the LMP token is newly available and trading on its dedicated exchange, paired with ITL. The ecosystem is actively expanding with new features and, most importantly, new merchants actually setting up shop.
The text leaves us with this incredibly powerful assertion, and I think it perfectly encapsulates their whole philosophy. It says, the future of Web3 won't be won by the loudest hype. The ultimate winners in the blockchain space are going to be the ones building useful infrastructure for actual businesses and real people. LinkersMap is making a massive bet that practical utility will eventually overshadow all the noise.
And that brings me to the final thought I want to leave you with today. The source text points out that the best opportunities in crypto are often the ones that feel a bit boring at first, simply because they're doing the hard work of building something real. So, ponder this. Will utility-driven, boring, transaction-backed models ultimately outlast pure speculation in Web3? If real-world commerce is the true endgame for blockchain, models like LinkersMap and the LMP token are absolutely worth paying attention to. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep asking those big questions.